If you're not very confident about fractions, I would seriously recommend that you watch my other videos on that topic before viewing this example. Before we begin to look at the example we're going to work through, there's two things I want to deal with. The first is that you fully understand what percent is, and the second one will be to get your mind thinking the right way so that we can look at the question and sort it out. Right, here we go. 60%, normally written like that. Now what this is actually saying is 60%. That is for each of 100. So for every 100 we get 60. Now this can be written as, consequently, which can also be written as now when you compare that to our little friend up here, these two are exactly the same as each other. That must mean that this little friend here is exactly the same as that there. That's a count. That's a count. And that bit is a unit of measurement. I haven't got enough room. Measurement, I'll put MEA. Alright, that's measurement. Okay, so we have a count, which is that. We have a unit of measurement, which is that, which can be interpreted as either that or that. They are both the same thing. Getting your mind thinking the right way so that we can tackle the question that's going to come, I'm going to use a different context. Imagine that we've got a brick wall here. Right, so that's a brick wall. We're looking down as if we are a bird looking down onto the ground. Here is a fence. It doesn't matter what the fence is made of, wood, metal, right? So this part here is say a garden. So there's a brick wall there, could be a house, there's a fence there. Imagine there being a person here looking down on top. That's the head, those are the shoulders. Okay, and they kick a ball, and the ball goes like this here, and it stops at that point. What the question is going to ask that's coming is this bit here, that length, that's a width. What is length over width as a percentage? But we will be given the distance from there to there, and the distance from there to there. This here will be known. Give it some value, W, we've already done that. That is known, right? That is what we're going to be asking. This here, this part, in relationship to that part, what is it as a percentage? For the example, we're going to be taking a look at this particular condition. Okay, so let's go to the update screen. Now, one thing you will get is this down on the right. Now, if I remember correctly, it just says percentage update, but it's talking about the overall, the total overall, when everything is done. We're going to be looking at part of everything, right? So yes, we're also going to be using that figure there, whatever they give us or whatever I pick on. Now what they do is they give you three particular stages of the update. You have that one there, and to make sure they're all the same size, let's do Control C for copy, Control V for paste. There's another one, Control V for paste. That's our three stages of the process, and I'm going to do my best to get them exactly lined up, and it may not work. Well, that'll have to do, right? So you've got the three stages, this one stage, that stage, and that one. Now this stage, first of all, is where they download what they're going to update with. You know, the code is downloaded. They then, because things can get corrupted in download, they like to verify that what they've downloaded is indeed the correct thing before they install it, because if it's not correct and they install it, they can mess up your system, right? Then once all that is done, you get the final update where they do indeed install what's been downloaded. It's in three stages. Now this is important, three stages. What about allocating some sizes? So we're talking about percentages, so we need numbers, don't we? Size of all of it, everything, is 100%, and when it is complete, you get your color going along, and when it finally gets there, this will be 100% here. But it's in third stages. Now, for suppose we had, and let's change the color to red, shall we? And make that red as well. Suppose we had an amount that's done, say, roughly to there, and I need to fill that in as red. Hopefully that will work, and please work. There we go. So you can see that we have done from there to there, and that is whatever percentage this is here. But we got a few problems. We know that each section is a third of everything, so that is a third, that is a third, so from there to there is 2/3, like that. You know, that's 1/3 after you completed the verify, and that is 1/3 after download. Put them together and you get 2/3. What we want to know is how much of that we've got in comparison to the actual updating. So we need to have this length here, which is determined by what value we have here. Now suppose we set this up here, the overall, this blue line here, to be 70% of everything. Remember, percent is just a fraction. So this becomes 70%. Now they use the word update here. I'm pretty sure they use update, but technically this is update. But when they do that, they mean overall, the whole thing, the whole process. Right? So the whole process done to this point is that measurement there, which is 70% of that. Now the more straightforward way I could think of doing this, because we're changing scales sort of thing, is to actually allocate some values. Now we can make some numbers up, it won't matter, because it's all interrelated. It's all to do with ratios and proportions. So if we pick on, say, the overall length here being 90, in other words, that is 30, that is 30, and that is 30. Let's set that at 90. Like so. Now as long as we do all the proportions in relationship to 90, we will still end up at the right answer. We need that bit there as a percentage of that part there, the actual update. 90 is 100%. a third of 90 is 30. So that is 2 lots of 30. So this becomes 60. Okay, so I'll just add those values in, like so. If 1 is 30, then 2 is 60, and 3 is 90. We need this measurement, whoops, oh dear, this measurement here. How much is gone into the update part? There you go, we need that. Now we have from there to there. If we subtract that from there to there, we have this bit. But the question is, how big is that? Now we said that this part here represents 70% of the whole thing. So we have, let me pull up my little calculator here, and yeah, I'll use it in fraction format. So we have 70 over 100. There's your percentage. That's what this means. 70 with the 2 zeros. Notice 0, 0, and we have 0, 0. Okay, we want that to be part of the whole thing, which we've decided is going to be 90. So we say times 90, and that gives 63. So this length here is 63. There you go. So 70% of the whole thing is this length here. So we have 70 over 100 times 90, which gives me this part here, this fraction here. Now I can subtract this from that, and it will give me that bit there. Now if I subtract 60 from 63, that means this is 3, not to scale. Right, so we put that in. There we go. So we found out that length there. Now we need to know that length there. We've already worked that out. This is a third of the whole thing. So that is 30. That is 30. That is 30. So what we end up with is 3 over 30. Let me minimize that. So we end up with 3 all over 30. You know, we have our bar, the final update bar, the whole thing is 30, and the red part we know is 3. Right, so let's simplify this a little bit. Meant to be a straight line. 3 over 30. Alright, I'll write it again. Notice we've got 3 and 3. That means this will divide exactly into that. Now if I divide the top by 3, I also have to divide the bottom by 3. Laws of ratio. And that would give me 3 divided by 3 is 1. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So it's a tenth. Now we want to give the answer as a percentage. So we have a tenth. We need to convert that to a percentage. Again, using the idea of ratio, we have 1 over 10. Right? Need to change that into 100. You always have as a percentage, the bottom number is 100. So you need to change that into 100. That is quite straightforward. In that we just multiply that by 10. Now because I multiplied the bottom by 10, I have to also multiply the top by 10. And that gives me 10 times 1 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. So this now becomes 10%. So what we have done is we have managed to install 10% of the actual update onto the computer. See the way it works. It takes a little while to get this to make sense in your mind. Watch it a few times.